Swashbucklers, you're listening to Under the Crossbones, episode number 38. My name is Phil Johnson. I'm your host for the show. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you being here. Fun fact about the number 38, it is the number of studio albums released by Prince. That's if you don't count the Vault Old Friends for Sale, which I don't, because it was just a collection of old demos from early bands that Prince really didn't want released, and it was released by some weird little label. So we don't count that one. So 38 studio albums, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But my guest on the show today is Shaun Rolly, who is the co-creator of a musical called A Pirate's Tale, which you can see in and around Pittsburg, Pennsylvania, and they'll be taking it on the road soon. Very cool. It is a pirate musical that has just as much stunt work and swordplay as music. So this is not Pirates of Penzance and the stuff that gets done in high school musical drama departments and things like that. This is a full-blown show, and Shaun is a really cool dude who was very fun to talk to. He's a stuntman, so we talk some about that. We talk about the process of writing a musical, which is horrendous. Great interview, so you're going to totally dig it. And so stay tuned for that. It's been a difficult week, has it not? It really has. Prince alone, but and then China, the wrestler, she died. Lonnie Mack, the guitarist, died. Michelle McNamara died. She's if you're not familiar with Michelle McNamara, she's a true crime writer and the wife of Patton Oswalt. And that was a weird one because I don't know Patton, but there's sort of a tribe of comedians that it doesn't matter whether you actually know each other. It just hurts to see somebody hurting in the tribe like that. And but Prince was difficult. Prince has been a hero of mine since probably 1987. I didn't get the early work. I was a little bit too young to understand Purple Rain when it came out. I love it now, of course. But it was when Sign of the Times came out in 1987. I got it as a Christmas gift, and I'm not even sure why, because I don't remember having expressed any interest in it. But I got it as a Christmas gift, and I was blown away. And just to see the breadth of what was possible musically. And then lost the thread a little bit, picked it up in maybe 94. I went through my metal years, and there was no Prince in my metal years, really. But picked it up in 94, 95, and started finding records that he was putting out. And just mind-blowing stuff. And if you haven't heard some of the later stuff, like Chaos and Disorder, or Diamonds and Pearls, or the Symbol album, or the Gold Experience, or any of that kind of musicology, great albums. Treat yourself and find them. I think I've got most of the 38 albums. I don't have a couple of them that are hard to find, but I'm working on tracking them down. But a huge percentage of my music collection is music by Prince. And here's the thing. Some people have, or at least I do. I don't know how many other people do this, but have mentors that don't know they're mentoring me. Some of them I missed altogether. Walt Disney was already gone. Stevie Ray Vaughan was already gone before I kind of got to him. Fortunately, some of my mentors that don't know their mentors are still around. Butch Walker is still there. Eddie Izzard is still there. Both of them are doing great, and I hope they continue to do great. And Prince was a huge one. When I'm writing a song and I'm having trouble with a song, I ask two questions. I go, what would Prince do with this? And what would Butch Walker do with this? And those are two of my guiding lights. If you don't know who Butch Walker is, please go look him up. He's an amazing songwriter. But Prince, here's the thing. I've been in the music industry a long time and in the entertainment industry for a long time, and people will always try to change you and turn you into something that you don't necessarily want to be, or things like that. And for years I had people go, you need to stick to one type of music, or you need to dress different, or I would always just tell them, Prince doesn't do that, so why do I need to? Not to say that I'm nearly as talented as he is, but he made it work, and I like to make it work. It's sometimes the difficult way of doing things, but I guess I do things the difficult way a lot of times. My girlfriend will happily tell you that. So it's been a tricky week. It kind of messed up my head a little bit. I'm trying to get back on track, and me, like everybody else, I've just been listening to Prince music for the last few days. And over the weekend, I had to get my head back in the game and kind of put it all back together. And so my girlfriend was out for the last couple nights, so I just sat in my studio recording music because I figured that's what Prince would want all of us to do, is just create things. And so I've got some new tracks on the way, stuff I've been playing at my shows but hadn't gotten around to recording yet. So I think you'll dig it. So I don't want to leave you on that's a bummer note. It's kind of a good note, the music, but I don't want to leave you on a bummer note before we go into the interview here. So I'll tell you this other story. We have these little bugs outside of my house. I don't know what they are. They're little tiny gnats. We had them a bunch of times last year, and I kept spraying them down with bug spray and getting rid of them, and they kept coming back. We finally got rid of them, and just the other day, they started coming back again. And so I had to go buy some bug spray. I didn't have any. I went to the Target by my house, and they did not have just like regular flying insect raid kind of. They had this EcoSmart stuff that is, it's just all rosemary and peppermint oil. And I was like, all right, it's $4. I'll try it out and see how it works. So I take it up to the self-checkout, and I scan it, boop, I do that, and then I go to put it in the little bagging area, and it slips out of my hand, and it hits the ground. The cap comes flying off, and it explodes with bug spray all over the place. The cap had come off, the little spray nozzle thing had come off, and it was just blowing insecticide everywhere. And the Target people came running up, and I'm trying to grab the cap, and I'm trying to put the cap back on it, and it's like trying to cap a soda bottle that is already blowing up everywhere, and this stuff is just going everywhere. And the janitor guy came, and fortunately, it was not. I was so glad it was not actually the raid kind of stuff, because they probably would have had to clear the store. It was just this rosemary and peppermint oil. So now what I'm saying is the Target by my house, half of it smells like rosemary and peppermint oil, and that's my fault. Actually, it's not my fault. You know what? Because I went back and grabbed another thing, and I popped the lid off just to see, and the little nozzle came right off with it. So it was really just a crappy product design is what it was. So I'm not taking complete blame for it, but I did have some butterfingers happening there. Let me plug a few tour dates here, if I could. April the 29th and May the 6th, both nights, I will be at Spice Monkey in Oakland, California. April the 30th, I'm doing a private event at a fancy place for a rich guy. I do those private events. You don't have to be rich. It's nice, but you don't have to be rich. If you got a thing where you need a funny person at it, buzz me up. I do private events. May 7th, I'll be at It's Your Move, again in Oakland, California. May 13th, Redwood Cafe in Cotati, California, headlining that show. May 17th at the Layover in Oakland. Doing a lot of Oakland dates. May 19th, I'll be headlining at the Gold Country Casino in Oroville, California. And May 27th and 28th, I'll be at the Comedy Palace in San Diego, California. Great club there. Other dates, I'll be in Southern California, Colorado Springs, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Fort Myers, Florida, Washington State, Oregon. Lots of tour dates coming up. Just go to underthecrossbones.com and click on the tour dates button. You can find out where I'm going to be near you. If you're liking the show, if you're enjoying the show, I hope you are. I really like it that you're listening. You can help support the show. Go to underthecrossbones.com/support. Right there, there's a little PayPal box where you can dump a donation in there. Whatever you think is worth it to you is cool with me. There's an Amazon banner there. If you click that Amazon banner and you go through and you buy yourself something nice at Amazon, I get a little commission, a little kickback from that. It doesn't cost you anything at all to do that except one little tiny click of your mouse. If you want to be a sponsor on the show, that's easy to do and also cheap. Just hit the support page and you can contact me from there, and we will get that together. So that's underthecrossbones.com/support. All right, let's get into my interview with Shaun Rolly from A Pirate's Tale. Enjoy. You are the creator or co-creator of a musical called A Pirate's Tale, and creating a musical is one of the most mind-blowingly difficult, horrendous things that a human being could ever take on.
I would never recommend it to the faint of heart. No.
So let's dig into your background a little bit. Tell me a little bit about where you come from and why you considered putting together a musical.
Sure. Well, I actually have a pretty big theater background. I was a pretty shy kid, and I was never good at sports, anything. And then kind of found myself in my home in the arts. And I went to college. I wanted to be a theater major. Parents said, nope, get a real job. So I got a real job. And but while I was following that path, to that yellow brick road to Oz there, I always did theater on the side, and always kind of wanted to do it for a career. And so I'm. If you've seen any photos of me, I am not the leading man type whatsoever. And I'm the scarecrow. I'm the villain. I'm the pirate. I'm the scum. That roots through garbage. And that's my look. And so I started really getting into like dance choreography and later on fight choreography because I grew up on all those movies like Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I really got into the whole sword fighting. And my father, whether he realized he was lighting a time bomb or not, my father introduced me to Errol Flynn at a young age.
Oh, nice.
And so Captain Blood and all that, and so it's always been kind of instilled in me. And so back in college, in 1999, there was a group that came in to do a one seminar class on stage combat, and it completely opened my eyes to a new form of art that I just fell in love with. Mm-hmm. I said that wrong. That was back in 1992. Sorry about that. That was 1992, and it's been a while. So back in 1992, the school I went to had a seminar in stage combat. And so I enrolled in it, completely opened my eyes. And so I was working, just working in the real world. And then in 1999, the woman I was dating at the time and I got some vacation time, and we booked a trip to New Orleans. And, all set to go. Right. And then all of a sudden we get this phone call a few days before we were supposed to leave and saying, oh, all the hotels are booked up due to a convention. So so our travel agent said, okay, you can go here, or Las Vegas, given what you paid. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go to Las Vegas. Let's try it. Right. So went to Las Vegas, and in wandering around there, came across the Treasure Island Hotel.
Sure.
Have you seen it?
I have. Yes. Many times.
Yeah. So you know exactly where I'm going with this, right? Yep. I saw the Treasure Island Pirate Stunt Show, and so I sat there and I was just blown away, and it became a literal before and after moment for me. And so after I watched the show, I stuck around, watched it again, and then I told my girlfriend at the time, her name is Leah. I told Leah, I'm like, listen, I've got to find out a couple things here. So I talked to one of the actors climbing out of the water. I'm like, I'm sorry, how do you get a gig like this? He said, we're stuntmen. I'm like, oh my God, you're a stuntman. I'm like, how do you get to be a stuntman? He's like, well, I went to a stunt school. I'm like, I'll be damned, a stunt school. So I went home, researched the stunt school, called them. They said that they were accepting enrollment, submitted my headshots, my resume, and they're like, okay, you're in. So classes started in August. So I went as soon as I knew I was allowed to go, I was admitted, went back to work, submitted my 2 weeks notice, and I moved to Seattle.
Nice.
And from Pittsburg, Pennsylvania. And never looked back. Everyone was like, dude, you're nuts. And I'm like, I know. They're like, well, what's your plan? Don't have one. Don't have a plan. Well, what do you want to do? Be a pirate. I want to be a pirate. They're like, dude, you're nuts. I'm like, well, we'll find out. And I've been working ever since. Never looked back. As a stuntman? Well, I've actually not so much as a stuntman. I've done stunts for a few films. And most recently, I was in a TV show, which was really cool. It's actually running right now. Are you familiar with a show called Outsiders?
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's a show produced by WGN about this mountain clan. And given my looks, like my agent said, you know what, you're the perfect mountain guy. So I have a little small part in Outsiders, which is really cool.
Neat. So let's talk about stuntman school here for a second, because that's not something that most people get a chance to ever experience. I'm curious what does an average day look like at stuntman school? I mean, do you show up with your bag lunch and take a nap halfway through after you finish falling off things, or what happens there?
Sounds like you've already been there. asked. I was like, you already been there. Yeah. What it was, we had to pay for a hotel, and
Okay.
it was the United Stuntmen's Association International Stunt School in Seattle, Washington.
All right.
And it was founded by this guy, Dave Boucher. We call him Maestro. Dave Boucher, who founded a group called Society of American Fight Directors. And they're basically America's standard for stage combat.
Uh-huh.
And so I knew right then I was learning from the best. So anyway, we had to rent our hotel. Every morning we'd be up around 6:30. And it was just outside the University of Seattle, University of Washington there in Seattle. And so in Tacoma, actually, in Tacoma is where we were staying. And so get up like around 6:30, just a Danish, whatever, whatever they had in the lobby, bus us out. And we would work out for like the first half hour, stretch and, run and do all that stuff.
Okay.
And then it was just basically the daily lesson. Were we going to be using swords that day, or were we going to be thrown by wires, wiring and ratchet work, or lit on fire, or stunt driving, or jumping off a platform, rappelling, martial arts, knife fight. So it was different every day.
Wow.
And it was a 3-week intensive where you would go for about, I'd say about 12 hours a day for 3 weeks with 1 day off. And so all things total, it was about 180 hours of training in 3 weeks.
Wow, that's intense.
It was intense. And it's kind of shaped me into who I am today, which is quitting's not an option. Quitting's not an option. And if you're hurt, if you're sick, you work through it. And really taught me a lot about myself. In 17 years, ever since I left my job, in 17 years, I've taken 1 sick day. And that's what I learned from stunt school, is that you don't quit. You don't quit.
That's fantastic. That's really great. So then when did you start working on A Pirate's Tale, the musical?
Well, what happened is the composer, Paul, he and I worked on a musical. His name's Paul Shapira. And he and I were college roommates. And we wrote a musical. He wrote a musical back in 1997 that we collaborated on, and it moderate success. I mean, we think it was more of a success than what it really was, But what basically happened is I got a job here. I kind of pitched the job, but I kind of made the pitch, and they loved it. Where I became the resident pirate of a fleet of ships here in Pittsburg. It's called the Gateway Clipper Fleet, and it's riverboat touring, and I'm the resident pirate. So I wanted to just do a little bit more with pirates, and considering we've got the baseball team here of the same name, I wanted to expand on that. And so I thought about it. I'm like, a pirate musical. Did some research, couldn't find any. And, there's the Pirates of Penzance, and that's a light operatic, cute stuff, and a couple other little things. But basically, there was no pirate musical. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write my own. I'm going to do it. And I don't know, again, here I go. No plan. I kind of live my life by this, well, let's try it and see what happens. That's how I live my life. Let's try it and see what happens. So I called Paul, and I said, Paul, I want to write a musical. I want to actually write one. He's like, again? What now? I'm like, it's about pirates. And he's like, wow, okay. Pirates, this is epic. And so I put pen to paper, came up with the story, and I wanted to just basically write, in my view, the ultimate pirate musical. Singing, dancing, sword fighting, swashbuckling, mutiny, walking the plank, dark pirate music, the bold characters. So I just made a list, like a checklist of, okay, what's next? What else do I throw into this? And the story kind of shaped itself, believe it or not, after a while. So that's how it really came to be. Creating it was a monster, because not only did I have to just, again, come up with the story and plot lines, but Paul, who's American, he married a woman named Maya, and they currently live in Serbia, because that's where Maya's from.
Okay.
So he met her here in America, and then they moved to Serbia. So we did this entire musical over 2 years through Skype, email, and Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like 1,500 emails, and a couple hours on Skype and a ton of Facebook's time shaping this thing.
That's amazing. It's the wonders of technology that we can actually do things like that now. And boy, is that love to move for Serbia for a chick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Serbia is known for its piracy. So
yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's cool. So you guys get this thing written. And before we go further with that, give me like a basic plot synopsis so we all know what we're talking about here.
Sure. So the story focuses on the pirate crew of the Anne Marie. And the story starts off just as they're seizing a Spanish naval ship called the Raven, El Cuervo. Uh-huh. And so the show starts off with a pirate war, because we want to start off with a bang. So the show starts off with a pirate war, of which they're victorious. And then through the arc of the story, what eventually happens is the pirate captain, Tristan Lamarck, he's a megalomaniac, just egocentric and wants it all. And you learn that he's been kind of manipulating the crew, stealing his share. So then the first mate, Sebastian Polk, has basically had enough. And they come to blows, leading to a mutiny. So now the crew is split in half. And so in addition to that, the pirate queen, I don't want to say wife, but Tristan's lady, her name is Cassandra McKay. He thinks she's part of the mutiny and has her walk the plank. And so now it's Tristan, Sebastian, and Cassandra who are all vying for control of the entire fleet. Okay. And so from there, a war starts on their own decks. And then the second act really just, it builds up and leading to an ultimate pirate battle that happens live on stage. Culminates to this big pirate battle. And then it's just a matter of who reigns, who's victorious. So that's what the story is really about.
That sounds fantastic. And so, okay, so as we all know who have ever been in the creative arts, creating it is one thing, and then actually getting it out to the world is a completely different thing. So you guys finished this show, writing the show after 2 years or so. What's your next step to put it out in the public?
Well, again, that was the Gateway Clipper Fleet, because I approached them saying, listen, I want to write a pirate musical. It would be site-specific and venue-specific. It would be the only show in the entire tri-state area that's done on the water. And it's pirates. And so they just loved the idea. Nice. So I was lucky enough to land a venue right off the bat. And we had our first season, and it was sold out. Because, again, there's nothing like it in the city. And there still isn't. We're still the only theater show out on the waters. Nice. And it's fantastic. So we're going into our third season.
Oh, nice. Did they fund you on it?
They did, yes.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's been great. I actually had to form a production company for A Pirate's Tale. Uh-huh. So it's really cool. It's really cool. And this year we're expanding. We're opening up the show up for licensing. And so if there's anybody out there that wants to do A Pirate's Tale, we have different versions of it. We have like an hour-long version, almost like a dinner theater version of it. Uh-huh. And we have the full 2-act. And we also, as of last year, expanding this year, is that we've now been asked to perform at Renaissance festivals. Oh. So we have an truncated version of the show for Ren fairs too. So, so we're hoping to expand the brand of A Pirate's Tale.
That's great. Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people out there who'd like to license a show like that, especially for the pirate festivals and the Ren fairs and stuff like that. That sounds like a great addition.
That's what we're hoping for. Because there's nothing else like it out there. So
that's great. So it was an interesting way of going about it, where you had a venue, you had funding, you had support for the show before you even started playing it, or writing it, I mean, which is completely different from the way most other shows go about being completed. Oh, yeah. I mean, I went into this trying to set up the entire plan before I took a step. So, yeah, but fortunately, we landed on our feet on this one, and I'm very fortunate in that regard. We all are. Yeah, that's really cool. So in the process of writing it then, what did you find to be the most difficult aspect of it?
The most difficult aspect of it, honestly, was finding the right blend of action and story.
Okay.
To make everything flow, the story had to create drama, create effect,
Sure.
and you had to really care about these characters. And the original director, his name is Mark Calla, the original director sat down with me. I had a staged reading of it first and got all that feedback. But then Mark and I sat down and really went over the script, over his first season. And we tried it. It went well, but we knew that it could do better. And so the second year, we brought on, she was actually in the original cast. Her name is Catherine Kolos. And Catherine became assistant director and somewhat of a dramaturg, actually. She single-handedly shaped the show for Renaissance festivals. And she is a huge reason why Pirate's Tale is expanding. And so Catherine is dedicated to the show itself and is acting, not even acting, she is a dramaturg for the script and making sure all those nuances, those characters are balanced and real and impactful for a great story.
That's great. Have you found yourself altering the show over was it 3 seasons you've done it now?
Yes, this is our third season. We've altered it a bit. We've shaped it to the point where like all the extraneous dialogue and some of the subplot points have been kind of muted, and it's more focused on the characters and their story. Because Catherine has this excellent sense of character, and so she's really been integral in developing their stories, which has made a huge impact on the overall arc of the show.
Interesting. And so now that you've got it in place and you're opening it up to licensing and things like that, are you planning on yourself taking it out to different venues, or are you going to stay on the boat, as they might say?
Well, that's actually what Catherine and I are working on right now is again the licensing aspect of it. But we're also in talks right now with a couple different companies about either having our actors go out and actually do it, almost like a tour. Well, not even like on a tour.
Yeah.
And or just taking it to that next level of consulting with another company who specializes in tours, in new musical development, and expanding again just the brand and show of A Pirate's Tale.
That's fantastic. Well, it sounds like a fascinating show, especially if there's some really good fight scenes in it. It looked like, from the pictures that I saw on your website, it looks like you're working in a fairly confined space as far as staging. What kind of challenges did that present to you as a fight coordinator?
Well, for the one-on-one fights, of which there's a lot of one-on-one fights, because that's, every pirate show needs, good swashbuckling.
Right.
But where I found the greatest challenge as a fight director, because the audience is literally within feet. And on a ship, it's a thrust configuration. It's like 3/4, like a 3/4 stage. So having the group fights was terrifying. And this season, it'll be no less terrifying than it was the first one. I stage it fight by fight by fight. And then it's almost like this, if you were looking at it from above, it's almost like this Busby Berkeley kind of patterning where, where everybody just moves to their new place as the fights just move. Because if people just stay where they are, it's going to get boring.
Sure.
So I have the fights constantly moving around, but when we're in rehearsal, we set up fake seats and everything like this just to make sure. Well, okay, John, you just impaled, your grandma, or okay, Sandy, that boyfriend of yours. Well, he's now an ex, So, and that's how we did it. But it just takes a lot of a lot of rehearsal because we're using live steel.
Uh-huh.
So it safety is our number one priority when it comes to those group fights.
Sure. And when you say live steel, is it blunted or is it actually sharp?
No. As a fight director, we were trained. We're trained to never ever have an edged weapon on stage.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, there should never ever be any sharp instruments on stage at any time, even if it's not used.
Right.
Even if it's a tiny little knife. There should be no edged weapons on stage. So they're all stage combat ready swords.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone through a number of dealers to ensure that the swords I'm getting are, number one, fight worthy, number two, in the period, and number three, safe, not just for the actors, but in case anything happens for the audience as well.
Sure.
So, so we go to great lengths to ensure the safety of the actors and the audience.
Nice. Yeah, you don't want the guy in the front row asking for a refund because he took a sword to the head.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm insured, but I'm sure, but I don't want to have to make that dreaded call. So
no, yeah, and bad Yelp reviews, things like that. You just don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, someone actually, audience member comes on, leaves with an actual eye patch. That'd be that'd be awesome. Well, no, it won't. But yeah. Yes.
And are you using any pyro, cannon, smoke techniques, any of that kind of stuff in the show?
Well, ideally we would love to, but on a ship, because even though we're only on the rivers,
Uh-huh.
it's international international naval code that there's no live fire or firearms allowed on a ship.
I see.
So we still have to abide by naval code.
Okay.
So once we put it on a stage, and we are slated for a run here in Pittsburg in late July, to have, once we're on a stage, the rules change because we're now on land and in a stage area. So we're hoping to maybe have like a live stage gun go off, or two. So
that's cool. It's not often you hear of a musical that has to abide by naval code. That's
Isn't that great?
It's so cool.
Isn't that awesome?
And
I wish for problems like this. Yeah.
And so what's the name of the theater that you'll be doing a run at in July?
It's called Carnegie Stage. And originally it was called Off the Wall. And so people will still call it Off the Wall, but it's since been called Carnegie Stage. And we'll have a 2-week run there. I believe starting in July 18th or July 20th, around that time. Okay. So we'll have the show running on the ship, and then we're going to go run it there. And then we have about 1 or 2 other venues and a Renaissance festival or two. And so it's going to be a busy summer for us Buccaneers.
That's great, man. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Shaun, this has been super fun. Everybody that's listening can find out more about your show at piratestalemusical.com. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Great. And I imagine you'll be putting up there in other places the show will be playing besides the marina there. And
we're hoping that there's enough interest in it that it'll leave Pittsburgh's waters and have a future out in distant seas. So
that's fantastic, man. Is there anything else that I didn't ask you that you want the audience to know about?
Not really. Well, the only other thing, if anybody's listening and anybody ever tells you that being a pirate is insane, number one, they're right. Number two, take it as a compliment. Take it as a compliment. Yep.
I like it, man. Well, this has been really fun, Shaun. I'm glad we got a chance to talk.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be on your show.
For sure, man. We'll talk again soon.
You bet. Thanks, Phil.
All right. You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There it is, friends. That is my interview with Shaun Rolly, stuntman and co-creator of A Pirate's Tale. You can find out more about the show and get tickets and all that kind of good stuff at piratestalemusical.com. Pirates plural. That's piratestalemusical.com. Our sponsor on the show today is Anything Goes Vermont. They are an old world trading post carrying a mix of custom items, modern upgrades, handcrafted workmanship. They provide on-site blacksmithing, leatherworking, chainsaw carvings, Vermont folk art, locally made stuff like soap and candles, craft supplies and oddities, seasonal goods like Vermont maple syrup, small farm honey, certified wild ginseng, bloodworms. Like if you have a need for bloodworms, these guys got them. I don't know what you need bloodworms for, but they've got them. Make sure to check out the online sales of New England antiques and retro video games and overstock items. All you got to do is go to Twitter and look for the hashtag Professional Mountain Folk. That's hashtag Professional Mountain Folk. Follow Anything Goes on Twitter, and you'll get amazing deals. They're always looking for new and exciting inventory, and the stuff they find is absolutely going to surprise you. That's Anything Goes Vermont. Check them out at underthecrossbones.com/AGVT. We're also sponsored today by LifeLock. Friends, there are pirates out there. And they're not the cool pirates that dress cool and have swords and stuff. No, they wear jorts and eat Cheetos in front of a laptop in their mom's basement. And they hack your computer and they steal your information. And it's just bad news, and you don't want to do it. It's so cheap to not have it done to you, and so expensive when it does happen. So all you have to do is go to LifeLock. It's like $10 a month, $9.95, something like that. And they will go out. They will make sure that your information is not out there in the dark, ugly parts of the web. And if they do find something, if you do run into trouble, they will help you fix it. And that is the best part. All you got to do is go to underthecrossbones.com/lifelock. Click the Start Your Membership button, and you will get 10% off, because that's just the way we roll here at Under the Crossbones. So underthecrossbones.com/lifelock. Click Start Your Membership. Get 10% off. I've also got an ebook for you. It's a nice one. It's The Pirates of Panama, or The Buccaneers of America, whichever title you prefer, by Alexander Exquemelin. And if you're not familiar with it, it is one of these seminal works in pirate history music. I got music on the brain today. You can get it at underthecrossbones.com. Just click on the free ebook button, or if you're out and about and all you got is your phone, text the word pirate and your email address to 94253. Just text pirate and your email address to 94253. All right, so we got some comedy, we got some music. Our comic today is Robert Duchaine, who's very funny. I've worked with him many times. He's kind of he's a cranky old dude on stage. Very fun, but he's actually one of the nicest guys in the world. You're going to love him. It's really great stuff. And, of course, we're going to hear something from the cast recording of A Pirate's Tale. We're going to hear a piece called The Seduction of Interrogation. Yes, nice. And I think I'm going to play you a bonus today with the whole Prince thing. I wish I could play you some Prince, but it's not currently legal for me to do that. So instead, I'm going to play you a song that I wrote years ago that is highly, highly influenced by Prince. Where this song came from, it's got a ridiculous title. It's called Rumpalicious Booty Shaker. But it's been one of my most successful songs over the years. And where it came from is I was trying to figure out Prince's drum groove from Sexy MF. And I was programming my sequencer, and I hit a wrong button, and a different drum groove came out. And I thought, oh, that's a cool one. I'm going to write a song around that. And I wrote this big song around it. I think I even paraphrased some of the Sexy MF lyrics in it. You can listen for that. And we went so far as to voice the horns and fourths like Prince learned how to do from Miles Davis. And it's got a sloppy, audacious, giant guitar solo in it, and a wry sense of humor, and it's sexy and all this kind of stuff. So this Prince influences a lot of my music, but this is probably one of the most blatant, the blatant versions of that. So figure I'm going to play you that song today too, as my own little personal celebration of Prince and his work. So let's get into it. We got comedy from Robert Duchaine, we got music from A Pirate's Tale, and then a song from my band, Roadside Attraction. Enjoy.
I'm a little cranky. I didn't really expect to live this long. Every day's a gift, though. You know, it's happy people like to tell you every day's a gift. You know, just wake up in the morning, just make it through another gift. My luck will live to be 100. I like watching those news magazine shows this morning where they invite people on and wish them a happy 100th birthday. Those people ever look happy to you? Hey, you're 100. Tell us, what's your secret? I can't die. As I lay awake at night just thinking of all the people in my life that have wronged me. Then I think about all the people I've wronged, you know, just to make sure I'm still ahead. Also don't get much sleep. I got noisy neighbors. I got to move. Hoping to move next to a serial killer if I can. They're always so nice and quiet. Keep to themselves. Certain traits you can look for, 25 to 35. white, male. It's almost always men. Hardly ever see a woman serial killer. I think that's because women generally like to kill one man slowly. Over many, many long years. Yeah, I don't have kids, but love to see pictures of your kids. It never ends. You want to see a picture of my baby? I was just thinking that. I think it'd be tough to raise kids now. Everybody's worried about their kids' self-esteem. We didn't have self-esteem when I was growing up. In fact, if you had it, they beat it out of you. It's not just kids. Everybody's worried about their self-esteem. It's actually a disorder. I was reading this the other day. It's a BDD, body dysmorphic disorder. Some people have it so bad they feel that they are too ugly to even leave their house. Not enough people. A lot of people worried about their self-esteem. I went to the doctor. He told me I got to start doing cardiovascular exercise, right? Get the heart rate up, you know. Said I should work. I've always had a theory when it comes to working out hard, though. My theory is, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'll just tell everybody I'm 70. Wow, you look great for 70. Well, I take care of myself. That's my show. You guys have had a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
The life of a seaman is one and the same.
And all who we've loved will forget all our names.
The wide open ocean's a cold, lonely place.
And all who we've left we will not see again. Though navy or pirate, two sides of the same.
And all who we've loved will forget all our names.
A coin that buys mystery, loneliness, pain.
And all who we've left we will not see again.
All the leagues you sail, the burdens, trials that you bear,
For naught but crumbs and broken dreams, when you could sail the oceans free.
And tell me now why we need to die, why our dear hearts should all be slit. Come join our side and be a pirate, and tell us where's the other ship. Why hate each other, we're like brothers, why stab ourselves all in the back. Come join our side and be a pirate, and share just where the ships are at.
I know when you see me, you frown and you say,
Oh, there's a right bugger as ugly as day.
Hey, but I too was wee once, an innocent babe. My mother had not one dull coin to her name. My dear mum's profession was biblical, and she barely would see me or hold me wee hand. The same job that dear Mary Magdalene had. In a house of repute I grew up as a lad. What chance do I ask you, what chance did I have?
It must break your heart to conceive such a lad.
To be something better than just what I am.
You just made the best of a hard misdealt hand. All the leagues you sail, the burdens, trials that you bear,
Are not but crumbs and broken dreams, when you could sail the oceans free.
And tell me now why we need to die, why our dear throats should all be slit. Come join our side and be a pirate, and tell us where's that other ship. Why hate each other, we're like brothers, why stab ourselves all in the back. Come join our side and be a pirate, and share just where the ships are at.
Cast your shackles all aside, come and live a pirate's life. The crown you serve is full of lies. Join our side and be a pirate. I know when you see me, you frown and you say, oh, there's a brisk ponce, a right putz and a pain. But I know the Navy is how I was raised. My dad spent his life in the service as pay. I'll tell you though, discipline, punishment, rules, orders and orders was all I was told. No freedom, no happiness, smiles or play. So I fled and a pirate is what I became. All the leagues you sail, the burdens, trials that you bear, for naught but crumbs and broken dreams, when you could sail the oceans free. And tell me now why we need to die, why our dear throats should all be slit. Come join our side and be a pirate, and tell us where's that other ship. Why ain't each other we're like brothers, why stab ourselves all in the back? Come join our side and be a pirate, and share just where the ships are at.
Inside there ain't no job now, we won't see you here. The cover's optional, my dear. Do I make myself clear? We got the stuff to get you high. Won't you come on in? Chemicals are false, my dear. It's more like original sin. Back in the corner, the freaks get freaky. Out on the floor, love gets high. DJ plays the beats that we made. Inside the rumpalicious booty shaker. Take your shoes off. I'll take them off now. I'll take them off now. Take your head down. I'll let it down. Come on, I'll let it down now. Take those clothes off. I get naked. Everybody naked. Make our love sound. Don't be shy, let me take your hand. This show ain't no dead man's party, so bring that body in. And you're gonna wanna do things that you never ever do alone. And we're gonna do some things to you that'll make you scream and moan. Come on, take what your mama gave you, leaving a bitchin' far behind. Do what your body tells you. Oh yeah, baby, you're my kind of rumpalicious booty shaker. Take your shoes off. I'll take them off now. I'll take them off now. Let your hair down. I'll let it down. Come on, I'll let it down now. Take those clothes off. I'll get naked. Everybody naked. Make our love sound. White boy can't walk. Come on now, say it again now. White boy can't walk. I'll drag it down, come on, I'll drag it down. And white boy can't walk. Na 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 na. White boy can't walk. Hey, that's not what I wrote, you guys. White boy can't walk. No, that's not cool. Really? White boy can't walk. Come on, don't do that. We got the funk right here. so we can make up. And I got some slack that you can take up like the purple one said when I got on your head on top of the bed. Ain't no one else around, I tie you with the blindfold, gagged and bound. I don't mind, cause it's all about sex and loving this, loving the next. That's my cosmic talk. And you don't think I'm hard, it ain't bizarre. Just watch me play my guitar like a superstar. Everybody up in the place, get up in my face, get up in my face. Everybody up in the place, get up in my face, get up in my face. Everybody up in the place, get up in my face, get up in my face. Everybody up in the place, get up in my face, get up in my face. Take your shoes off. I take them off now. I take them off now. Let your hair down. I let it down. Come on, now let it down now. Take your clothes off. Get naked, everybody naked. Make your love sound. Take your shoes off. I take them off. I take them off. Let your hair down. Let it down to the ground now. Take your clothes off. Get naked, everybody naked. Make your love sound.
And there it is, friends. That is our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. You can get all the show notes at underthecrossbones.com/038. If you want to find out more about Shaun Rolly and A Pirate's Tale, go to piratestalemusical.com. If you want to hear more from Robert Duchaine, go to robertduchaine.com. And if you like Rumpelicious Booty Shaker and you want to hear more from my band, go check out roadsideattraction.com. And keep leaving those iTunes reviews. That is very, very helpful. They help the show a lot, and I like reading them, so good on you for doing that. If you haven't, go do it. It's easy. It's just easy and quick. Again, show notes at underthecrossbones.com/038. And I will see you next week, friends. Take care of yourself out there.